About 3 years ago, I took a rundown garage and turned it into the perfect space solely dedicated to my love for cycling. And I called it the Dutchman's Den. I didn't know it at the time, but that garage would go on to become the origin of this channel. And in 2023, I had to say goodbye to it. But that was okay, because we were moving to a better place. A place where the beer flows like wine and bike parts literally grow in the backyard. I'm talking about a little place called the County, where there's more room to build a bigger and better Dutchman's Den. One where we can fix all the shortcomings of the original version. And there's really only one problem. There isn't one single slot for an extra circuit breaker in here. And there's like, what is this? What is this bare wire doing in here? Ow! Son of a... Oh. Sarah!
Wanting to do something and then doing it.
Welcome back, everybody. I kicked it. Now I lost my whole thing. I lost my whole thing. Now I gotta check. Oh yeah, right there. I'm JT the Dusty Dutchman, and welcome to episode 3 of the series where I rebuild the perfect space solely dedicated to my love for cycling, the Dutchman's Den. So for episode 3, we're gonna tackle 3 things. Number 1, we're gonna run all the electrical in this space. Number 2, we're gonna paint this entire ceiling, which I think is gonna suck. And if you make it to the end of this video, you're gonna see number 3, which is something that I'm really excited about. Something that I've been waiting a very long time to buy. And if everything goes just right, by the end of this video, I'll be installing them and you can see what they are. Although I probably will put them in the thumbnail, which means you've already seen them, which means this is stupid. Anyways, we got a lot of work to do. I can't wait to get some power in this area. The outlet selection and the lighting in this area is terrible. So I can't wait to get that sorted so I can actually see what I'm doing back here. So let's get started with electrical. Good morning. It's morning. It was another late night down here last night, and I just gotta get a little coffee in me and get going here. Yeah. Anyway, it's time to talk about one of my favorite things, and that is electricity, which is really fun until it's not. Now, when it comes to electrical, there is one place I don't recommend going unless you have some prior experience or some help, and that is here. There are all sorts of interesting ways to cause harm to person or property by getting something wrong inside of one of these boxes, and I am speaking from experience. I've been able to feel all the voltage that one of these panels has to offer, and I don't recommend it. So here's the challenge. When this house was built, they gave it all sorts of room for expansion, and over the course of the last 40 years, all of it's been used up. And for our purposes, in the den, we need 2 dedicated circuits. So now I have to go through every circuit that's been added after the house was built, but prior to us moving in. I gotta figure out what's on each circuit, what do we need, what don't we need, and what can be combined in order to free up some space for 2 new circuits. And just like that, the electrical is all done, roughed in, and ready to move forward. We have our lighting circuit, which is split into 2 switch panels and 7 switches. And second, we have the circuit that powers all the outlets back here. And I'm happy to report, I just turned that circuit on, everything works, and we finally have power back here. So now that all the wires have been run, we can finally paint the ceiling, which I'm a little nervous about. But I got Ryan coming over today to help me out. He's bringing over the sprayer, and we're gonna spray this whole ceiling. And I think it's gonna be a mess. Ryan, you ready to rip? Here we go. This turned out so good and is exactly why I don't paint things, because I could never achieve a product that looks this good. Massive thank you to Ryan for coming over and spraying this ceiling for me. I obviously couldn't have done it without you, but that was a pretty intense like hour and a half. I didn't film hardly anything because once the spraying started, it was just go until it was done. It's just basic interior paint in a flat finish, and once you put it in the sprayer and you give it to someone like Ryan who has skills in knowing how to use that sprayer just right, it turns out perfect. Ryan is also an avid mountain biker and YouTuber, and he puts some pretty cool stuff online, so I'll link his YouTube channel in the description below. Well, the time has finally come, and through the magic of editing, we could finally get to the part that I've been waiting for since I started this project. Let there be light. Of course it didn't work. Why would anything be easy? Why would anything be easy? All right, so I guess we're doing this the hard way. What we have here are 3 5-piece kits that I got from Amazon, and they are a hexagonal modular lighting kit. Some assembly required. Does anybody else eat Girl Scout cookies like 1 box in a sitting? Or is that just me? Don't judge me. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay. That'll do. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking 75,000 lumens might be too many, but then again, maybe it isn't. So let's talk about these lights, because they are different. They're really light and easy to mount. So because they're so light, it's easy to hold them up, and you can just directly screw them into, drywall, or in my case, these joists. It comes with a bunch of extra pieces, a couple extra lights, and then a couple extra of the fittings, so you can play around with it and come up with different designs if you like. And I know it seems super bright down here, but that was kind of the point. There's going to be multiple different stages of lighting throughout this space. And now the cons. Number 1, I paid a little bit more for these specific hex lights because they were supposed to be dimmable. Come to find out, they are not. Number 2, they do feel kind of cheap. And the last thing I didn't really like was the power cable that comes with it. It only came with like a 10-inch long hardwire cable, and I wanted to be able to plug them in, so I had to do some research, figure out what kind of connections that they have on these lights, and then find a third-party cable that I can plug in and then just plug into a regular outlet. But I certainly don't regret buying them because they look amazing. Not only are they super bright, they have a really cool, like minimalist, futuristic vibe to them. So this time around, labor-wise, I think it was closer to about 50 hours of work. Cash-wise, I got about $1,300 worth of receipts here, including the lighting, which was about $500. But that includes 5 gallons of paint, like 400 some feet of Romex, all kinds of junction boxes and switches and outlets and dimmers and staples and so many odds and ends. My plan for episode 4 is to get all of these walls completely done. I'm talking sheeted, get the planking on the accent wall, get them painted, trimmed, done. Oh, and P.S., how cool is this t-shirt? Is that the raddest pineapple you've ever seen in your life? I think so. Cool brand though. I'll put a link in the description. Oh, and if you want proof that I actually create cycling content, I'll put a video like over there. And lastly, if you're not stuck in your basement like I am, why don't you get outside and get on your bike? Because you know what? Good things will happen. And I'm gonna go put on some sunglasses.